Mar, you got your coffee, man?
I've got my coffee.
All right.
And more importantly, I use the restroom.
All right.
Now it's time for the sports. I got my sports bra and my jock strap.
I feel you.
We're ready. Are you ready? Get ready. Because here's the sports. Everybody. Here's Vic.
All set. I'm gonna give Mario a second here because this is a difficult one because I'm gonna premise this. Mario, you're a professional sports athlete. I don't care if it's basketball, soccer, football, whatever.
Bowling.
Doesn't matter as long as it has fans that are watching you partake in your favorite thing or whatever you do. Sooner or later, you're going to find that you're the enemy. If you're best at what you do, they hate you. If you always win, they come to want to have somebody win against you. So if all of a sudden somebody whips your ass, they can't wait to cheer it on, right?
Exactly.
So do you feel, before I even get into the subject, do you feel that if somebody goes out of bounds, say if you're bowling, and somebody attaches a heavy object to a can, throws it at you and hits you, do you restrain because you're a professional athlete and it's the best thing to do? Or do you say, hey, let me go handle my business with that person who did it? What would you think emotionally you would do first? Not logically, emotionally.
Well, emotionally, you may want to strike out, but that's where logic is supposed to jump in.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Your woman might say something you don't like, and emotionally you may want to slap her.
No, not me.
But your logic may tell you
not me.
That's wrong, that's negative. So,
right.
So in other words, what I'm suggesting, your boss may say something, and you may want to kick him in the butt, but you may know that's not the best way to handle it. So in other words, we often have thoughts that are violent or whatever, but part of adulthood is being able to have those thoughts and know how to not act upon it. So when you give it what we call impulse control. So if you actually don't have impulse control, you're a child.
Okay.
Or just stupid.
All right. Well, we're going to do a rating on the power of the wall compels you. If you know that line, if some of you guys know I bit from something, I'm not going to date myself. The power of the wall compels you. Now,
that sounds like an evil chant from The Exorcist. The power of the wall compels you. The power of the wall compels you.
You see, role plays in full effect right now, man. You're already doing.
I'm about to say,
okay,
gets a little weird out there.
Right. The title of my segment is "Throw a Beer, Get a Fan." We usually don't get to see this, dude, but when it's on TV and you get to see it. It's one thing when all of a sudden somebody tossed something, it's ice. You know, ice can be thick, it can be hard, and coming from a distance, it could hurt a little bit. But when you actually see a can or a bottle coming towards the camera and it's intended for another individual, you actually are in that moment where that individual is going, I'm already talking smack to you guys. Now here comes this other object. So I call this throw a beer, get a fan, and rather than to sit back and endorse, go get the fan, we're going to find out, should we endorse the power of the wall? Ratings. What's the chances that this wonderful Seattle Seahawk, Quentin Jefferson, big lineman, made it over the wall? What's the chances that if he was let go to continue, did he traverse the wall? If he did traverse the wall, would they have tackled him fandom? The best thing is, should he have failed against the wall?
All I know.
That's all I'm saying, man.
He shouldn't have been able to do any of those. It doesn't like he can scale the wall or climb the wall. And this is assume he does get over the wall.
All right.
All I know is I remember my old man would told me when I became a physician.
Right.
Those days of you getting in fights and knocking somebody in the face are over, right?
Right.
Because all they need to do is fall down and be hurt. So all I know is some NFL player was to run up on me. I'd fall down.
Right.
And I just be thinking about how I'm suing his ass.
Right. So you think
he got plenty of money to pay.
Right.
So that moment of, I'm trying to think 1 million.
Right.
2 million.
Right.
Or is it just 500,000?
Right.
But you're going to get some money.
Right. The best thing that happened,
So
right?
there you go.
The best look here, I like this look. Because you have the man behind him, brother with the gray shirt, going, I'm literally right now saving cheese that's going to come out of your pockets. The most valuable player right now is that brother. And I'm going to say brother because he's just a brother. It has nothing to do with culture or anything like that. He's a brother sitting up here going, let me rescue you from this. Because long term, when your emotion dips back down to normal, you're going to feel it in the pocket. So they're thinking about actually penalizing him for the attempt to go over the wall. So it leads to my question. Here's the thing. If you attempt to go over the wall, should you be fined?
Yeah. The fines are meant to prevent any behavior that could be embarrassing to the league.
Right.
So if you keep that in mind, everything's a fine that don't make them look good.
Right.
So yeah, that's a fine.
Okay.
That's exactly what they don't want is Quentin climbing the wall. Right. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Quentin, ask them for the top 10 things they don't want. Number 9 will be Quentin, whatever you climbing the wall.
Don't climb the wall.
Nobody climbing the wall, okay?
Here's the part that makes it worse, you guys. Here's the part that makes it worse. I'm not giving you all of the story. You guys can go read it if you want. But actually, he tried to climb the wall after he was ejected on the field of play. So he's attempting to climb the wall after he was ejected. So it really is null and void. That's even worse. So even if you're right, you're in the wrong. Now, it's different if it was during the game because they'll probably come to protect him and say, oh, you didn't make it over the wall. You're good. But they're going, you were supposed to leave the field. That's where they're going to get him. So,
you don't have the luxury. Let's put it like this. If someone appears in your front lawn doing the same crap.
Right.
Quentin,
Quentin,
don't even climb the porch.
Don't climb the wall.
Call the
Don't
police.
climb the wall.
Because now you in that group, believe it or not, even as a black man.
Right.
You're now in the group where you get treated like a white man. You have a lot of money.
Right.
You could actually call the police, Quentin, and they'll come to serve you.
Yeah.
They really will.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
that's
what they want you to do. They don't want you to attack. They don't want you to solve it. Right. Now, if they break in your house, you can pull an LL Cool J on them. You can just whip their ass and just claim all kind of shit. But if they're outside the house,
right?
I don't know.
The power of the wall.
Power of the wall
compels you. All right.
Repeat after us.
All right. We're going to go over to the next one. This one, I'm just shaking my head over this one. Okay, because I saw this and I was going, ooh, he's got to go. Well, very easy. Welcome to Health and Welfare First. Isn't that the brand for the NFL? Health and welfare. Houston Texans QB Tom Savage twitches and returns. When I say twitch and return, Savage was injured with about 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter of the Houston's 26-16 loss when he was driven to the ground on a hit by Elvis Dumervil. Replays showed Savage looking dazed after his head hit the ground with both of his arms shaking and lifted upward. Tom Savage was cleared to re-enter Sunday's game against the San Francisco 49ers for one series after sustaining a concussion, raising questions about the NFL's procedures for evaluating such injuries during the game. And the coach still says he made the right decision. Everybody said this. It's on national TV. Literally watching this man's hands do like this. And his eyes rolling back in the head. Oh, he's gone. Goes to the tent, goes underneath, come back, play again. Wise or unwise?
First of all, the coach is not the one in today's world who makes that decision. They have a team of doctors. Now, and in that case, whoever their doctors are were incompetent. Okay, I don't have any trouble saying it, incompetent. All right, because it's these type of neurological occurrences are very well described after trauma.
Yeah.
So they actually don't have they actually have a good long-term prognosis, Vic. In other words, when you get involved in acute head trauma, boom, and have a seizure out of that, that still has a good prognosis. Most of those people do not go on to have any kind of really permanent effects of the injury.
Wow.
Let's assume if they don't bleed or have any, let's assume they had just a seizure at that time.
Right.
So the prognosis is good. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, almost every ER I know would observe this person for some length of time. In today's world, he would get an MRI.
Right.
CT, MRI, usually MRI, and then be observed. Mm-hmm. And a neurologic consult possibly.
All right.
Just for that. But that's evidence. That's a well-described thing. And I can tell you, as a pediatrician who worked emergency as a hospitalist,
right,
you'd be done for the season in high school football.
Right. That's right.
You don't even get to play again this year.
Which tells you...
Well, we're seeing effects of people long term. That's what people didn't know. People didn't know before. When I was in training, people didn't think that these things had the long-term consequences. That's the new news. Now it looks like even some of the more minor ones can have long-term consequences.
Absolutely.
We don't know. So that was absolute incompetence by the doctors who were working for the team, and they should be fired.
Wait a minute. Wait.
And you can tell them Dr. Mario Hemsley said so.
I didn't think I was going to get that
board-certified pediatrician, fire their ass.
That's right. Wait a minute.
Okay, fire them.
Here's a question that Mario asked me off the show.
Fire them.
He asked me. He said, "Victor, when they have an injured player and they go to the sidelines, what's in the tent?"
Yeah, what's in the tent? You know what the tent is for? Just to keep you from seeing what they're doing. It's just stupid to me. I guess it's supposed to be the idea of privacy. It's the idea. See, some executive thought this shit up. They're in the meeting. What do? We we don't want them to examine it with everybody watching. The doctor said, I don't want everybody watching while I examine them. They might see me do some incompetent shit. So that's what they're all afraid of, covering their ass. So the doctor, everybody doesn't want you to see them examine the player just in case they don't do shit right. So they put a tent. Take his ass in the side.
What's in the tent?
Just take.
I can tell you. I know what's in the tent, Mario.
Stupid.
I know what's in the tent. A table.
Stupid.
A table.
Yes, a table.
It's a
and
table
a doctor
in the tent.
And probably a little lamp and maybe a little aromatherapy and shit.
See,
and maybe some soft music.
Oh
you inside the tent and you got.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna tell you the funny one. Wait a minute. Let me tell you this. The tent's so small that I forgot which game I was watching. A player was questioned, injured, I believe, temporarily. Went in the tent. Another player got injured, couldn't go in the tent. He had to wait for the other one to come out. So while you were injured, standing out waiting,
like the regular ER. Wait, that's like the regular ER though. That's regular ER.
How do you know that my condition is not more important than the person's?
That's like the regular ER.
What's in the tent, man?
Till you get evaluated, you on your own. That's the way it is in the regular ER. Why should it be any different? Roll into the ER right now and see what order they see you in. Okay? Now, if you walk in, you're already in a certain group because you can walk in.
I'm going to make
serious ones ain't walking in.
We're going to get an upgrade, you guys. Bigger tent. Let's get a bigger tent.
We have a big ass tent on the sideline.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's stupid.
See, I knew it was going to hit you because
it was.
It is.
I trained with some stupid doctors too.
Man,
and believe me, they got some stupid ones out there. Okay,
man,
and that's the right word, stupid.
I just want to know. I want somebody to have one of those secret cameras and peek into the tent. I want to know what's in the tent. All right, let's go to the next one, dude. Take this up. Okay, I got to hit this because everybody knows that the NFC is playing so they can go against Tom Brady and the Patriots. That's why you don't see no excitement over in the AFC. And everybody knows Pittsburgh cannot win with that defense that gives up all those points the way they do. So my question, or actually, this is my statement. Hello, Patriots. It's not the Pittsburgh Steelers to fear. I have two teams that I think they have to fear because they have the right makeup. And if we had to pick the team that probably has the better chance of winning, we're going to check it out and see what the factors are. So let's go to my first choice because this team is made up defensively in a way that to me reminds me of the old Baltimore Ravens. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're already leading in their division. Now, what they don't have They got Blake Bortles. They don't have a Tom Brady. They don't have an overpowering offense, but they got a defense that the four guys, they wreak havoc, and their secondary is tough. It's those things that work against Tom Brady's efficiency. Now, what they lack is experience and that time where Bill Belichick will scheme around their lack of experience. So what you have going against them is that they haven't been there before. Now, before I give any input on you, Mario, I want to go to the second choice, and then we'll see who we would like to pick. My favorite choice, not because I'm LA, is the Chargers. And the reason why, the one thing that can neutralize a team is a seasoned quarterback. And Phillip Rivers is fourth in the league in passing yards. And he's been in the trenches over and over again.
You have 8 kids?
With his family matters, man.
That shows you how strong he is. He got 8 kids.
Man,
I'd be scared of his ass with 8 kids.
Dude, he's been there, and yeah, he has a family.
He's a disciplined,
yes, he is.
Long-term
yes, he is.
Gunslinger.
So my point
leader
is
of a quarterback.
Now, let me just give you this.
Hall of Fame. He's going in the Hall of Fame.
LA is not in the position of leading the wild card spot nor the division. They're literally tied with Kansas City, but Kansas City has the advantage, so they're leading in the division. The road to it is that the Chargers' defense, Jacksonville has the defense, but right there next to them is the Chargers. The difference between Jacksonville, they don't have a Rivers. So we don't even know if the LA Chargers can get into the playoffs. If they do, you do not want to see this team. And my pick is if they get there, they do not want to see the Chargers because Rivers has no fear and they have the experience. So if I had to pick between the two, better defense in Jacksonville across the board right now. And I mean, they're scaring teams with their defense. So who would you pick, Mario? I'm going with Chargers because they got the QB.
Well, let me just start by saying I'm at least surprised and glad that as the season has progressed, there at least emerged some AFC contenders.
Right.
Because for a minute there, we weren't naming anybody.
It was like
we were looking at the NFC for every challenger to the Patriots. We were looking at the NFC.
Yeah.
So the fact that first of all, I love what the Chargers have done. I never expected this. They managed to shut me up because the first thing I said was, wow, we went from having no football to having 2 mediocre teams. Well, now we are actually better than that. And even though the Chargers look like they can go into the playoffs with a low record, it's not going to take, it's interesting, the records are low to lead the conference in the AFC.
Right.
But yeah, Vic.
Yeah.
I can have hope with actually either one.
Yeah, you know.
On a given day,
right.
The Patriots certainly can be beaten by either one of those teams.
Right.
On any given day. We haven't got to the NFC.
No, I'm not even worried about the NFC because the nature of Seattle has already shown that they're going to have a rough time because I don't know if their injuries will recover in time. And if they do, Seattle's always played them tight. But in the meantime, you go with healthy teams. And right now, Jacksonville is just a defensive monster. But the Chargers get better each week. So they have to have some things happen at the top. Maybe they can push themselves in over Kansas City. But that gets me back to a question that I have not put over here. What happened to the Oakland Raiders, man? Did you see that whoop ass that Kansas City put on? Is that a false sense of security that Kansas City is that good or the Raiders are that bad now?
No, I mean, the Raiders no, they're that bad because they've been fairly consistent at their being bad. Whereas some of the other ones, like Kansas City, they've had games where they look fantastic. So at least they have some up and downs.
Right.
Oakland, I'm not sure how much ups they've had the whole year.
Oakland, they started off being a team to reckon with. They're one of the 1 or 2 top AFC teams to compete. Nobody said they were going to beat the Patriots, but they were up there in consideration. Now they're falling on hard times. I don't know what's happening. I got a funny feeling it's going to be, are they underperforming when they show that they actually can play better? So they've played better ball. It'll be the same thing as the Atlanta Falcons. When you have the same players on the team and they played at such a high level and they're not doing it this time, they're going to say it's a lack of discipline, effort, energy, whatever you want to make it out to be. So I'm not sure. I'm just saying I'm more secure about knowing the LA Rams and their faults because they're a young team, and that game they played against Philadelphia yesterday was a great indictment. Or if they meet in the playoffs, it's going to be a good team. Philadelphia, a good game. Philadelphia is more disciplined. Unfortunately, the Rams. Yeah. Fortunately, the Rams, that youth, that energy, that testosterone, whatever it is, stupid, dumb mistakes. So I like how they played as a team getting better, but they are high risk because it'll be their first venture into it. So you got to be very careful with choosing them. But I like what happened. I'm just going to leave the Carson Wentz situation. I hope he recovers. It's not a torn ACL.
Prayers for you, brother. Even I don't know. Anybody who gets hurt, it's just his story. He's such a leader. You got to root for a kid who comes up doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
You got to root for him. So I'm so praying for him not to have a serious injury. So there you go.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Phillies fan.
Right. So. Right. I understand. So I want to see the best team out there. I don't want to see them limping into the playoffs. But I wanted to go over here to just here's the makeup of the teams that if we had a conversation about, I was kind of on the AFC side, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, good game. Excellent game. Competitive game. Didn't know it was going to be that entertaining. Thought it was going to be one-sided. Tennessee's up there with Jacksonville, same record, but Jacksonville has the lead as far as the conference, as far as the advantage. On the NFC side, Minnesota got handed a loss. That's okay. You had to come down to earth a little bit. But you got all these teams on the NFC side, from the Rams, the Eagles, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints, Vikings. Man, it's a toss-up. So to me, the enjoyable part about this is which team on the NFC side matches best with Brady and company. And I go by the quarterback, and then I go about from front to back, both sides of the ball. It looks like Philadelphia. It looks that way. Or, for me, Minnesota, because they just have that defense. You have any favorites, man?
No, I think in the NFC, if Carson Wentz comes back, the Philly's it.
Yeah, yeah,
but
Philly's
I think
it.
What's nice is that on a given day,
right?
I don't know who would. In other words, the Saints on a given day,
right,
and Carolina too,
right,
might be able to upset the Patriots. I don't think Atlanta can, but they can play them a good game,
right.
In other words, what you're seeing is that parity.
Yeah.
But if the Patriots are on their game, of course, it's going to be rough. But at least you could. There's a couple, like I said. If Minnesota's on their game,
right,
and if Philly's on their game,
they play
hard.
Right, but Carolina beating the Vikings because now you got your QB. He's.
That's what I say on a given day, because Cam can have those moments.
He does, but you don't want him to suffer through the Carson Wentz,
right? But
Russell Wilson, right. All of them suffer from that. If they got to do a lot of it, they can get hit.
That's right.
All right, cool. So Philadelphia seems like they're more balanced, but I just don't know. In the meantime, I want to go over to what I call. We've already seen the standings and stuff, man. I'm gonna move on down from that. Man, can't wait, dude. Your favorite bowl, Mario. Go in there.
Tiny bowl.
Okay, which bowl you going? It's this Saturday, man. The 6 bowl games. You supposed to know which. Don't be looking. Don't be looking, man. You supposed to know which game.
No, because I think the count in recent years, one of the things we've covered before was the number of bowl games.
Right.
Isn't there like 100 bowl games or something now? It was ridiculous at 40, 50. So these ones that you name are all bowls I've never heard of before.
Cure Bowl,
New Orleans Bowl, the Cure Bowl, Las Vegas Bowl,
do the Cure Bowl,
New Mexico Bowl, Camellia Bowl.
Oh,
and that's because they did it it's an enterprise.
Okay.
It's a promotional enterprise, and that's why there's so many of them.
I'll do this. Don't look. Don't look at anything.
Okay.
And I'm going to just drop names and you tell me.
Tiny Bowl.
No, you tell me. Based on teams, what you would want. Middle Tennessee versus Arkansas State. All right. All right. Marshall versus Colorado State. Okay. Western Kentucky versus Georgia State.
Oh, Come on.
All right, well, hold on. Oh, Troy versus North Texas.
Who is Troy?
Just Alabama,
Somebody
man.
came out there. I want to know who was Troy.
Troy, Alabama, man. Troy's. Come on.
No.
Yeah. All right. All right.
I'm from Los Angeles. We only know USC as our Trojans. So
I'm not going to even follow that up with a joke. Okay. Next, Boise State versus Oregon.
Somebody I've heard of. That must be the wonderful Las Vegas Bowl.
There you go, bro.
So that's the game.
So that's the game you're going to watch.
Yeah, that's the one I watch.
We're good, man.
Oregon, and Kelly's coming back to college. He's going to be coaching UCLA.
Yes.
So we're going to guess chess.
So what does that mean?
He's like, UCLA may win.
Oh, really?
He did good in college. It's a different game than the pros. So I expect him to return to form.
Okay. I am. Hey, until then, my sports is over, bro. Got to go.
That's sports, you guys.
Got to go, man.
Victor Allen's new sports. Part of what's happening here at Pack Stereo, a recurring segment you can get every week. His unique fan-based view of sports. Hot and heavy. Yes, 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 yes. Come on, y'all. Coming up next, Hot Picks. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to